Let's talk about the ethics of cursing. I'm Dr. Kelly MacCath-Moran. I'm a folklore scholar, author, and musician, and I'm presently writing a book titled The Storyteller's Guide to Folklore, which includes a chapter on traditional charms and a chapter on traditional curses. I also produced and aired a short video series last year on charms and curses for storytellers, which I'll link below in case you'd like to dive a little bit more deeply into the topic. So, a woman I respect both as a folklorist and a magical practitioner said recently that curses happen in high stakes, low power environments. It's super pithy, but it is the core of what we know about cursing traditions. So, curses traditionally happened in situations where an individual had been wronged or harmed, and they didn't feel like they could get satisfaction through a legal system or through a village justice system or from the other person directly. And so they went to metaphysical means to redress the balance. And in communities where there were a lot of working class people who were treated poorly by the upper classes, or in situations where there were marginalized or oppressed groups of people, we find rich cursing traditions for this reason, because people felt powerless and they wanted to address that feeling of powerlessness in whatever way they could, and often the only way left to them was metaphysically through curses. So this is the kernel of what we know about cursing traditions. It's not about just casting a curse. It's about creating balance. It's about reciprocity. It's about making sure that you're not hurt anymore and that you've balanced the scales against the person who's harmed you. And that sense of balancing the scales, that sense of reciprocity, I want you to carry forward as I talk a little bit as a folklorist about contemporary magical practice. Now, Doreen Valiente in the 1960s popularized the Wiccan Rede, which is 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill: and it harm none, do what you will. And what this is it's a contemporary statement of magical ethics that essentially says, do what you want as a magical practitioner, but don't hurt anyone. And this occurs alongside another element or statement of Wiccan magical practice, which is the Law of Three. And this is an old one. This one's been around for a long time. I still believe it's probably got its roots in the 20th century. And if you know better, then please let me know, because I would like to know if this is older than the 20th century. This idea that whatever you put out into the world returns to you 3 times. Now, as a folklorist, I know that number 3 is a motif across folk literature. So it may be a contemporary take on that sort of motif of 3 as it shows up in fairy tales and tall tales and folk narratives, across cultures. But in the Wiccan magical community, what it basically means is that whatever you put out into the world is going to come back to you 3 times. And this is meant magically. So whatever spell you cast, it's either going to come back to you 3 times, it's going to come back to you in 3 ways, it's going to be amplified 3-fold. So make sure when you cast a spell that it's something you can live with, because you're going to have to live with it yourself. So that's all I have for you today. As always, keep storytelling, and I'll talk to you next time.